have the talk. Dating a narcissist, something is a whole nother level. So I wrote another chapter in my book called Ending a 13-Year Addiction. And this is something I told my therapist and my friends about. Like a week ago, I was talking to them one by one on the phone about me ending my 13-year addiction. Now, this video is for educational purposes, and do not send any hate. Don't come under my videos in the comments disrespecting me, hating me, or showing me any type of hate or whatever. I don't even want your criticism, because this is not called for criticism. This video is not called for you to make any hateful comments. This is specifically for people who's been through this and know exactly what I'm talking about. So watch this with precautions. Just bear yourself. How you say it? Brace yourself. Sorry. Brace yourself, because what I'm about to say might hit people in some areas. But this is something I've been dealing with for 13 and a half years. And I am proud to say that I'm completely done and over with, because this has been going on for so long and it ruined everything in my entire life. Like, you would think my first boyfriend might have broke my heart and did something wrong to me, or any of my exes did me dirty. But nobody has done me this dirty before. I could say out of every person I ever dated my entire life, this one person that I've been dealing with for 13 and a half years, really done it. He done the most. And I can't even express how much I can't even express it, how much it is important to get rid of this type of poison in your life or addiction. So many of people that's close to me know that I had a kid, and the father of that kid I met over a chat line, a dating line, like 13, 14 years ago. I was out and about, and some of my friends was telling me at the time that they was dating, and they got so lucky dating the type of guys they was dating at the time, because they met them on a chat line. Didn't know anything about these type of chat lines, because how I used to meet guys was outside in public, whether it was at school, whether it was me doing a job, or whether it's me just chilling, going about my business. And I met this guy. I was on the chat line for 3 months, and I met this guy, and this guy was from Harlem. He was a real Harlem boy, and I was physically attracted to him, but I could only go by the picture he painted in my head, because it wasn't until like a week later that we met. So I'm going to skip through that whole scenario, because that's a long story. But we met a week after, and we met each other twice in person. And then about the next week, me and him finally started chilling at his house. Met his father's girlfriend at the time, and we started watching a movie. And all of a sudden, within 6 hours of being together in his apartment, we slept together. He seduced me, took me to his room, we slept together, and we spent the night. And I didn't find out I was pregnant until July 28th. July 28th. And this was after we took a break from each other. Like, we took a good 3 weeks away from each other, and I found out I was pregnant. But I didn't want to tell nobody because I knew right off the back my family was not going to approve of this man. So I never let my family meet the man, but they knew about me being pregnant. And I told them I took the pregnancy test twice. And then I went to the hospital because I wanted to be sure if I was pregnant. And the pregnancy test came back positive. And I told him, he was kind of shocked, but he was happy about it. And at the time, he was working for a moving company. So we continued to date. And I was 7 months pregnant when his father passed away. And I was also 7 months pregnant when my grandmother had a stroke. And it was like everything fell upon me so bad, month after month. And up until I gave birth, I was completely stressed. And he left me. I ain't gonna lie. This man, after he had a memorial service, a funeral for his father, whatever you call it, he got up and left. And he decided he wanted to go run to Philadelphia where his first baby mother lives at. Left me with a child all by myself. He couldn't even be there when I gave birth to my kid. So 2 years passed by. He calls me and said that he's back in New York and that he wanted me to come see him, but I never did. He came to see me, and this was after my son's second birthday. So he missed out 2 years of my son's life, and he missed out the birth of my son. And we saw each other maybe about 2 or 3 times. He saw his son twice, never seen him ever again. To this day, still didn't see him. But I did send him pictures for like 6 years straight. I kept sending him pictures. The older my son was getting, to let him know, hey, you missed out on so many milestones. And I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm just going to leave you alone. And all of a sudden, he decides he wanted to come see me. And this time, we try to work it out. But once again, it just kept getting messed up. This is when the addiction started to happen. He didn't know I was already suicidal. He didn't know that I was already depressed. He didn't know that I was going through a mental problem because of the pregnancies. Once you have a baby blues, it turns into a PTSD or whatever the case is. My doctor even told me plenty of times I was under denial for like 2 years straight that I was even under depression or PTSD. But she kept telling me, yeah, it's PTSD. And then you have anxiety attacks on top of that, because every time I would get into an argument with him, my anxiety would go up. It would just start acting up. And then all of a sudden, I found myself to be very suicidal again. Like, I just didn't want to be here. And then what's even worse is that I lost my grandmother. So you try losing your grandmother on top of you always fighting with your baby father, you being a single mother on a fixed income, and you really don't have much support. Your family tries to support you the best way you can, but hey,